What's going on, fam? Today's video is going to be quick and dirty. I want to share 5 different squat variations that you can add to your arsenal to spice up your leg day training with the kettlebell. Let's dive in. So this first kettlebell squat variation is one known as the Goblet Squat. And the Goblet Squat is like the classic kettlebell squat. For those of you who have been doing kettlebell workouts for a while, you're probably familiar with this one. We go ahead and we hike the bell up to where the body of the bell is at chest height. We come on down, hip crease below the knee, and because we have the kettlebell loading the front side of our body, kind of loads our core in a unique way and challenges those postural muscles in our thoracic spine. This here is the place to start if you're brand new to kettlebell squats before getting into more advanced variations like the next one. Squat variation 2 is one known as the single arm kettlebell front squat. Now with this one here, it's really important to understand the front rack position, so I want to address that really quick. Notice I have the body of the bell cradled between my upper arm and my forearm here, and how my fist is roughly at the halfway point of my collarbone. Now this is where it gets really important on the grip side of things. See how I am reaching up towards the corner of the handle here on the index finger side? That allows that handle to rest across my palm at a 45-degree angle. Now what's cool about this variation is that it adds a little bit of a core stability challenge in a different plane of motion. So for the single arm kettlebell front squat, because the kettlebell is offloaded to one side, there's actually a lot of lateral core stability as well. So the kettlebell is going to want to pull you off one direction, and the opposite oblique has to work super hard to make sure that your shoulders stay parallel to the floor. This variation here is a great way to spice things up from a core stability perspective. Now if you can rack one kettlebell, you can rack 2 of them, which leads us to this third squat variation, which is the double kettlebell front squat here. The cool thing about the double kettlebell front squat, it's kind of like the Goblet Squat but on steroids. So it's really going to challenge those postural muscles in the thoracic spine. And the other part about it is that it's great for double kettlebell complexes. So when you're thinking about kettlebell complexes is when we have 2 or more kettlebell exercises back to back, and the transitions should be seamless between movements. So let's say you're going to take 2 kettlebells and do something like double kettlebell cleans. The perfect movement to put right after it would be something with 2 kettlebells. And this is where you could insert something like a double kettlebell front squat. Check it out. Double kettlebell clean, double kettlebell front squat, have yourself a complex. The fourth squat variation I wanted to show with you is one known as the Goblet Caustic Squat. So we still hold the kettlebell in that goblet position, but now we have a unilateral type of squat variation where we're loading one leg than the other. As you can see, this is one of the rare squat variations that actually gets us moving side to side too. So this lateral movement that we have here puts a lot of emphasis on the inner thighs here. So for those of you who are looking to improve strength in the inner thigh, want to avoid groin strains, there's progressions that lead up to this and that are extremely beneficial for strengthening that musculature to make sure you can avoid that in the future. Now this last squat variation is an absolute beast. It challenges mobility, it challenges stability from both a lateral core perspective and from a shoulder stability perspective, and that variation is the single arm overhead squat. Now this squat variation comes with a warning label. If you don't have good prerequisite shoulder mobility, meaning you can't get your wrist stacked directly over the top of your shoulder here, I would not suggest doing this one. If you do have that prerequisite range of motion and you can get hip crease below the knee while keeping your heels flat, then give this one a go. Basically what we're doing here is stacking the wrist over the top of the shoulder, and now we have this lateral core stability challenge. Again, trying to avoid the leaning. We're challenging those postural muscles in our upper back, we're challenging core stability, and we are challenging our mobility getting down to the bottom of that squat. And this one here is a fun one to try once you have mastered all of those that are in the previous variations. With that said, you now have 5 different squat variations you can add to your exercise arsenal with the kettlebell to spice up your leg day. Which variation are you gonna try first? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay humble, stay hungry, stay happy. Cheers.